All right, folks, we are going to look at linear line graphing today. So linear lines are those nice straight lines that we all know and love. Let me pull up a graph here. Sorry, I should have been more prepared. Okay, here it is. All right, this beautiful graph. When we deal with linear lines, they come in a special form. They are y equals mx plus b. And that b is your y-intercept, and it's the place where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so it's the y-intercept. It's where your line crosses the y-axis. It's also going to be your starting point. That's where we're going to start your graphing. The m is your slope. All right, and that's your rise over run. And it can be positive. So if it's positive, it's going uphill. And if it's negative, it's going to be going downhill. All right, your x is just a coordinate on a graph, as is the y. So when I say that, if I plotted a point right here, this has an x and a y value, and that's represented here in your x and y, even though when we give you the equation for the line, we don't fill those in because there's lots of different x's and y's we can use. All right, so let's look at an actual example here. Let's do graph a line. Okay, so if I tell you that we want to graph y equals 2/3 x minus 2. The first thing I'm going to look at is my y-intercept, and it's -2. So that means I'm going to go on my y-axis, and I'm going to come down to -2, because I know 0's in the center, so I went down 1, 2. I plot a point. From there, I need to go look at my slope. The slope is 2/3. So remember, slope is rise over run. So I'm going to start at my point, and I'm going to rise 2, and then I'm going to run 3. Now, you can run 3 to the right, or you can run 3 to the left. We need a positive slope. Positive is uphill. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and by plotting my point there, when I connect them, I'm going to create a positive uphill slope. So if you were going for a walk, you would be huffing and puffing your way up the positive uphill slope. Now remember, you could have gone down as well, right? So slope creates a staircase, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, up 2 over 3. You could also have gone down 2, but if you had chosen to go down 2, you would need to turn the opposite direction and go through this point, which, if I was a better artist, would connect as well. Okay, so that's how you graph a linear line. Now, that being said, these can be slightly more complex. Like, for example, let me get you another graph right here. If we did that with a negative, what if we had y equals -2x plus 1? So this looks a little bit different, but not too different. So again, our y-intercept is right here at +1. So I'm going to start there with my point. But this time, my slope doesn't appear to have a rise over run. It only has a rise. But I can rewrite 2 as 2 over 1. So I'm going to rise 2, and I'm going to run 1. But I have a negative slope, so I need to turn in such a way that I get a downhill negative slope. So I'm going to rise 2, and I'm going to run 1, and I'm going to turn left, so that way I'll get a downhill slope. So I plot my point here. Should have made that blue, sorry. And if I had wanted to go down from my original point, I could have gone 1, 2, down, and this time I would go to the left, and see, that'll give me a third point. Then I can connect these, and there's my line. Okay, the final piece of this is sometimes you're missing something. So what if this time your equation doesn't appear to be all there? Well, it is, it's just kind of hiding. So if we have y equals 3, so what's our problem here? See, there's no mx. Where did the rest of it go? All I've given you is y equals 3. So what you're going to do is, in something like this, you're going to go on the y-axis, because all I gave you is a y, and you're going to go up to 3. All right? And that means that y is 3 everywhere. So you're going to end up with a horizontal line that looks like this. Okay, so this is like a special case. When it says y equals a number, you go to that number and you end up with a horizontal line. Similarly, what if I only give you x? Like, what if I say x equals -2? Well, this time I didn't even give you a y-intercept. I've only given you an x. So you're going to go on the x-axis, and you're going to go over to -2, plot your point, and this time x is always -2 regardless of the y. So this would be a vertical line. All right, now the only other one that can look a little tricky is this. So what if it looks something like this? Y equals 3/4 x. If you get something like this, it looks like you have no y-intercept, but trick question, you actually do. It's +0. So your y-intercept is actually right in the middle at 0. From there, you just do your rise over run as usual. So you go up 3 over 4, and that should land you right here. Or you could go down 3 over 4 the other direction, and you would have something that looks like this. Okay, that's all there is to it. Good luck.